Isn't it just too juicy to ignore? A scandal of epic proportions, shrouded in secrecy and betrayal, with Prince Harry at the center of it all. Grab your popcorn, because you're not going to want to miss a single word of this explosive drama. Let's rewind the clock to a fateful night, one that, until now, had remained buried under the weight of royal secrecy. But oh, it's all coming to light now, and not in the way anyone would have expected. Picture this. Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, the man who has painted himself as the victim in a relentless war against the media, the very same person who just years ago was enjoying cozy, private parties with none other than Katie Nicholl, the royal reporter. Yes, you heard that right. Harry was living it up, partying with one of the most prominent journalists who now stands accused of being, well, a criminal? Hold on tight, because here comes the twist you didn't see coming. Turns out, Harry invited her into his circle, let her into his personal world, and even got chummy with her, the very same woman now being called a criminal by his legal team. The same woman who has now thrown some serious shade right back at Harry, saying, "No, Harry, you invited me to join the party." But the plot thickens. Oh, it does. The saga gets even juicier from here. So let's dive into what's really going on in the tangled web that's slowly unraveling, piece by piece, in a courtroom right now. It all started at the Kensington Roof Gardens, a beautiful setting for what was supposed to be a fun, carefree evening. But little did Harry know, this night would come back to haunt him. After meeting Katie Nicholl there, Harry personally invited her to join him and his friends at a private gathering, something he later might want to pretend never happened. But hold on, Katie did what any social media savvy person would do these days. She shared a glimpse of the evening on her socials, with posts showing Harry and his friends. And just hours later, she shared photos of his children, against his wishes no less. Oh, the audacity. Talk about spilling the tea, right? But wait, the story doesn't end there. According to Prince Harry's team, Katie Nicholl is now a criminal for her actions. That's right, his legal team is calling her out for unlawful behavior, despite the fact that she was invited into his life. So here's the burning question. How did we go from let's party to I'm suing you for criminal activity? Well, things are about to get messier, my friends. The courtroom drama is unfolding as Harry has now accused Katie, along with other journalists, of illegal information gathering and unlawful activity. But here's where it gets even more shocking. Katie Nicholl isn't backing down. Oh no, she's throwing shade and firing back with some seriously bold claims. According to her, the social access she had was totally open, voluntary, and, wait for it, often initiated by none other than Harry himself. So if you're keeping up, the man who has spent years painting the media as the villain is now embroiled in this tangled mess of mixed signals. Was this a case of two people navigating the murky waters of celebrity friendships? Or is this something much darker? But let's pause for a moment and think about this. Katie Nicholl, who had been on the royal beat for years, had access to one of the most powerful social circles in Britain. She wasn't some random journalist who had to sneak her way in. Oh no, she was part of the elite, attending glamorous social events, rubbing elbows with the royals, and enjoying access that most people could only dream of. So why did she choose to spill the royal tea? Was it revenge, a bad breakup, or maybe something else that pushed her to expose the truth? But what's truly fascinating is how Katie Nicholl now defends herself. She says this wasn't some clandestine operation, but rather a mutual understanding between the press and the prince himself. Can you believe that? According to her, she wasn't stealing secrets. She was simply playing the game as it was always meant to be played. And let's talk about those juicy courtroom moments. Harry arrived on the first day of his dramatic legal battle looking visibly strained, old before his time, like he knew this was going to be a fight to the bitter end. You could almost hear the sighs of the court spectators as they took in the irony of it all. A man who'd spent years accusing the press of underhanded tactics was now in a battle of his own making, attempting to send journalists to prison. In the courtroom, Harry's lawyer, David Sherburne, came out swinging with what could only be described as a controlled demolition of the media. The tactic was clear: portray the entire media machine as criminal, illegal, and a violation of Harry's privacy. The first salvo in this war wasn't a gentle tap. It was a full-on punch to the gut. And it worked, at least for a moment. Sherburne presented emails allegedly showing that a journalist, Rebecca English, a seasoned royal editor at the Daily Mail, had attempted to obtain flight details about Harry's former girlfriend, Chelsea Davy. Wait, flight details? How exactly did Rebecca get those? Was it through legitimate sources? Or was this a case of illegal activity? Harry's team seems to think it's the latter, and they're pushing hard to make the case that these are crimes worth prosecuting. But here's the kicker. Rebecca's legal team hasn't said much, but the rumors swirling around this email exchange are enough to make anyone wonder how deep this rabbit hole goes. Was this a simple inquiry, or was there more going on behind the scenes? But back to Katie Nichol. Let's talk about her for a moment. A woman who, in her own words, had never been a criminal, now faces the full wrath of Harry's legal team. They're saying that she was up to something illegal, that her friendship with Harry was not some innocent interaction. No, according to Harry's team, this was part of a much larger scheme to gather sensitive information that, in Harry's eyes, should have stayed private. But let's pause and really think about this for a moment. How much of Harry's life was ever truly private, and how much of it was open to leaks? Katie, Harry's former friend, was now facing accusations, but didn't she just play the game the same way Harry did? Is it possible that this whole mess is nothing more than a dispute over who gets to tell the royal story? And while all this drama is unfolding in the courtroom, there's one big question hanging in the air. How will this case play out in the end? Will Harry manage to land a blow that will break the media's hold on the royal family? Or will the press, those fearless titans, emerge victorious, proving that they had every right to report on every little detail of Harry's life? We're only just getting started, but already the stakes are massive. Prince Harry's credibility? On the line. The reputation of the Daily Mail and its powerful publishers? Hanging in the balance. If Harry loses, the financial consequences could be catastrophic for him. If the Mail loses, well, it could change the landscape of British journalism forever. But here's the kicker. This isn't just a case about journalism. Oh no, my friends, this is a battle over power, revenge, and the future of how stories will be told. Is this about telling the truth, or about rewriting history? So what happens next? Well, let's just say you'll want to stick around, because this is just the beginning of one of the most shocking trials in recent royal history. But don't worry, I'll be here to walk you through every twist and turn.